All right, T2 as a podcast, rapid reaction to night one of WrestleMania. I'm going to say it. I don't give a shit, Vince. 37. I know he hates numbers now. But here, of course, Ernest Christian here. Of course, Mike and Joe, who are actually just leaving Raymond James Stadium after the conclusion of WrestleMania 37, night one. Fellas, you guys rained out? You guys all wet?
I mean, yes, but also too it rained.
Shut up.
Well, before we go any further in this adventure known as the Take 3 Wrestling Podcast, breaking news to our fan base and all of those that listen to this lovely event. Joe Lopez is officially on Twitter.
Yes. I got a request from Joe like literally 5 minutes ago as I'm setting up this damn podcast. I'm like, am I seeing things here? Joe's on fucking Twitter?
Carol literally sent us like 3 like open face like shocked emojis. She's like, "Is this real?" After the lovely events of night one, I have seemingly convinced Joe Lopez into opening a Twitter account.
Yeah, it worked finally. So now go follow me, Sugar J-Lo.
Sugar J-Lo.
SHUGGA and then J-Lo, like Jennifer Lopez, but less ass, just slightly. So yeah, go follow me because I have no job and I have lots of free time and I'm going to tweet a lot.
That's cool with me. It's cool with everybody else. Hopefully, man. Check them out on Twitter, of course.
I'll put them on the Take 3 bio. Follow at Take 3 Wrestling.
Let me say this much about Joe. If Joe's as funny as on Twitter as on the show, oh God, we're in for a fucking rude awakening. Holy crap. Can't wait.
Thank you.
Oh, if only you were here to hear some of the things that were said this evening.
Of course. All right, let's get to it quick. A lot to get to. First off, the event started a half an hour late because rain delay, and it was raining all fucking afternoon up in Tampa. I was getting updates from you guys and everybody else who was up there as well too. But can I say, at least from out here, WWE handled it pretty well.
The only negative I'll say about the way that WWE handled it was there was an announcement that they would keep us updated. We didn't really get updated. I know you sent me, hey, they said they're going to get ready to go in about 5 minutes.
Right.
Our friend Craig sent me the same thing. They didn't really pass that message to us in the corridor. Me and Joe were trying to waste time, so we were like, screw it, let's go get a piece of pizza and kind of kill some time. And then all of a sudden, like we had just gotten in the line because we didn't know how long it was going to be. And all of a sudden, like they were just like, and go.
Yeah.
So me and Joe walked back to our seats, and then I know Craig messaged me, and he's like, we don't need any more promos. And I'm like, the problem is that like 96% of the limited audience is still in the corridor. Like, they literally cut that promo so that the fans can get back into their seats.
Yeah. Right. And not only that, else to fill in time until we get to the fucking, exactly. It is what it is. I thought they did a good job, all considering. Like, you saw, I don't know if you saw the promos, like, Drew and Bobby Lashley, doing a little promo before the match and whatnot. That was pretty cool.
So we were able to see that it was happening, but there was no audio in the vestibule area, obviously. Like, if you've ever been to any wrestling event or sporting event in general, usually there's not really any sound at those. If you're out buying your hot dogs or something, there's not really any sound, but you could still see the game or whatever's going on. So that was kind of the situation. But honestly, like, they did handle that as well as they could. Like, there's only so much you can do. And truthfully, if this had been a year where there had been 70,000 people in that building, that would have been a nightmare. So the fact that the first, as far as I know, as far as I can remember, at least in the last, 10 years, or 11 years, really, the first weather delay at a WrestleMania happened at a WrestleMania where there wasn't even half the crowd in capacity. So that worked out really well. Which, by the way, for the record, one of my favorite things about this entire show were the cardboard cutouts around the arena. Like, they were, especially in our section and all the 100 sections and stuff, it didn't look like this on the floor so much, but there were, 3 or 4 cardboard cutouts for every 2 people in every row. And I loved it, and I took selfies with some of them. And
I saw someone on Facebook. That was really cool.
Yeah.
you can see on the video that we recorded, that I hope is before this audio. If not, it'll be its own little snippet on the Facebook or on the YouTube. I mean, literally, I had 2/3 of the Pussycat Dolls sitting next to me, and like Svetlana and Alexia or whatever the hell the other one's name was. Joe had a Von Miller lookalike sitting next to him.
Yeah, I saw that Von Miller lookalike. That was great.
But honestly, they handled the weather delay the best that they could. Before we start, though, one thing that me and Joe noticed as we got in the arena, it was announced before that they were going to give everybody KN95 masks. That did not happen.
So fake news.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe they missed a shipment or something. Who knows? But that did not happen. But luckily, we had stopped at the WrestleMania store earlier today, and we picked up our own WrestleMania, theme masks. So we were representing, but we were representing on our own dime. That's not fair.
Right. Can I say real quick before we get to the matches real quick? I love the fact, I was hoping this would happen, and it did happen. Vince McMahon opening the show. Loved it. The whole cast of characters there, him doing this whole bit, WrestleMania, his whole thing. I loved it.
I enjoyed that too. That was fun. It was a fun way. It was the right way to start the show after the last year that we've had. Like, that really was the right approach.
Mm-hmm. It really was. Mike, anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, actually it was cool because we saw all the wrestlers coming out first, and we were like, what the hell is going to happen here? And then I was like, I guarantee Vince is going to cut a speech.
Yep. You see Roman out there? Roman was up there too. Roman was his little suit
Everybody
and shit.
was.
Yeah, Roman was in a suit and shit. Like, oh, okay, what up?
that was definitely awesome. It was a good way to start the show.
Right. Real quick, before we get to the match one more time, I want to ask you, because I heard some boos a little bit during Hogan and Taz O'Neill's entrance. Hogan
was getting booed out of the fucking building. You didn't hear some boos. You heard every boo. I don't think Hogan got a single cheer the entire time he was there.
Just the pop when I'm a Real American came on, but then when he stepped out of the back, he got booed the rest of the time.
Yeah, they
cheered I'm a Real American. They didn't cheer Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, this is hard for me because as a Hulkamaniac, I mean, he's the reason I got into wrestling as a kid. I consider myself a Hogan disciple. When he turned heel, I went with the NWO. I didn't stick around. I went with the NWO. Wherever you went, I went. But God, I have so much tortured feelings towards Hogan these days. My buddy James said it best earlier on the text during the intro. He goes, yeah, love Hulk, hate Terry.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a weird situation because everybody was like super hyped for Titus because Tampa, but then like Hogan got on the mic and they literally booed him until they could not boo anymore.
Yeah, you could never hear it, and I'm wondering the cheering that you heard there was probably piped in noise just to kind of save face.
No, I mean they started cheering every time that Titus spoke. It was literally anytime Vince spoke was when the boos ensued.
Right.
Or not Vince, I should say Hogan.
Hogan, right. Brother. Anyway. All right, matches. First off, as we predicted, too, I think we all predicted on our preview podcast last week, Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre kick up the show.
Yeah,
that was honestly, I loved it as an opener. I thought that was a great opener.
Yeah. Lashley retains.
I feel like we also all saw that coming, but I think we all hoped that maybe the Hurt Business would get back together. That would be kind of the catalyst. That's obviously not where things went, but I'm not surprised that Lashley ended up retaining, and not even a little bit.
No, not at all. Ernest, check your phone, by the way.
Okay. Go ahead.
I would say that definitely not surprised in the result of the match. The match itself was really good. I think the big thing here that no one actually thinks about, but is going to be an integral part of what happens next, Drew never hit the Claymore.
No, he didn't.
He threw it a couple times,
Yes.
Never made contact with it.
That's one thing I gotta say, and I thought this was a fantastic match. This is at least a 4-star match. No, I'm sorry, I'm using a different scale.
Yes.
This is at least a 4 rainbow flag match for me. I thought this was really entertaining. I was really a big fan. One of the things I love about it, it was very clearly chapter 1 in a longer series of matches that we're gonna get. And I'm sure that it might not be till like SummerSlam, which is when I assume we might be the time that we get another live crowd show. If at all this year, frankly.
Right.
But I think that's going to be where we build to, because you're right. Like, there's some key things here. Drew never hit the Claymore. Lashley was, he fought pretty hard to be able to finally get him into that hurt lock before he finally got into it. Drew was never able to actually, like, full on escape from it, not like power out of it or anything like that. He had a moment where he came close, but he didn't actually do it. He ended up running into the corner and using that. So, I mean, there's a lot of little story elements there. And this is one of those things where, like, if you're a New Japan fan, like, New Japan likes to do this, where they build up different things through different matches. Or even if you want to look at NXT, like, you had that with the Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa matches over the years, where they would kind of take little elements from the past matches and add them into the future matches to give us something really special. I think you're going to end up getting that here with these guys. I think we're going to go from, like, oh, Drew never hit that Claymore, to in the next match, like, Drew hits the Claymore. Or maybe, like, again, like, maybe he hits the Claymore and Lashley rolls out of the ring and we end up getting, like, a count out, to get to the next chapter, or whatever the case may be. This is a really good way to start a long-term feud in a way that I feel like WWE is usually worried about doing. I usually feel like they kind of, for lack of a better term, blow their wad a little too soon and give you all of the explosives in the first match, and then you almost have nowhere to go for the rematch or anything like that. So the fact that we have here, well, quite literally, you can build to, like, match number 3 at next year's WrestleMania if you wanted to, if you pace it right. Mm-hmm. I respect the shit out of that.
I give the match an A-, honestly. I thought it was a really good match.
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement. I can live with the A-, grade.
All right, let's get to the second match of the night, which was...
Well, before you move on, official results of Pick'ems. I was the only person that had Bobby Lashley retaining, so I am the only person that is 1-0 moving on to the second match.
Could I leave a caveat, though? My pick was all determined on when that match was going to be. I remember specifically stating last week that if that was the last match of the night, Drew wins. If it was the first match of the night, Bob wins.
Just take your L, Drew.
Fuck me.
Take your L, Sasha.
Okay, Twitter buddy.
You don't go here.
Yeah, you're right. All right, second match of the night was the women's tag team turmoil, which saw Natalya and Tamina win, and they'll be facing Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler tomorrow night number 2 at Mania. They just wanted to see. It's like whatever. It's just there. Like it did its job.
A big Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax fan.
Say it again.
I didn't know that I could become such a big Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler fan.
I mean, you had to know that Team Second Generation Lady Wrestlers was going to win. They've kind of been setting that up on TV, and it's one of those moments where, like, I was hoping that the Riot Squad was going to pull it off. I'm a big fan of theirs, obviously, but at the end of the day, not entirely shocked that the people who won.
No, I would have much rather it been the Riot Squad, or even a random team that wasn't announced in the match that got added to the match, a la maybe like a Becky Lynch team, but, that didn't happen.
I'll be honest with you. I could see Natalya and Tamina winning this thing tomorrow night, too, because I think the end of the Nia Jax, Shayna, Shania team is not long for this world, and I think it ends tomorrow night.
Did you just call them Shania?
What the fuck their name is? Look, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, okay? Don't judge me.
No, we're going to severely judge you. That's what we do.
It should not, yeah. No, I actually think they'll lose the titles tomorrow night.
It's definitely possible. I don't think so. I think that Shayna and Nia are gonna just keep on rolling, but we'll find out.
Take a quote from great Joe Lopez. I love that for you.
By the way, Joe, my son Eli recorded earlier a response to your response.
I look forward to seeing it.
Yes. I think
If not that good, then I'm gonna have to hop in with the other half of the tag title belts.
right. He was like shocked. He's like, "What the hell is this?" Like, yeah, he has a message.
I love
Yeah,
it.
message from Uncle Joe. But the best part of the whole thing is the whole you were saying that you like I'm short and I'm short. Everybody, what was it?
Yeah. I mean, big facts.
Because facts, right? Because it's facts, obviously. All right, match number 3 of the night was. Give me a second. Oh, Seth Rollins and Cesaro. This was a fucking banger, as expected. I give it an A right off the bat.
Yeah,
dude.
I love the story that they were telling in this match. Mm-hmm. It was so simple and yet so perfect. I loved everything about that match. That was a lot of fun. It's a solid 4 rainbow flags for me.
This match, let's let these guys work. Like, say what you want about Seth Rollins, dude, but dude, I don't think I've ever seen, other than maybe the Fiend match back in Hell in a Cell 2019, I don't think I've ever seen a bad Seth Rollins match. Honestly.
I'm sure
there's probably some floating around.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure if I
you gotta dig for it, right? You gotta dig for it.
This is the guy who, for a while, was most famous for a clip from his early days in his wrestling career in some podunk indie company. I don't even remember which one. It might have been AIW or something like that. But he was out there back in his Tyler Black days when he first started wrestling. And he's the dude, I don't know if you've ever seen this. It's one of those Botchamania clips. But he's the dude that goes for a shooting star press and then just lands on the fucking top turnbuckle because he made other than doing the flip, he lands on the top turnbuckle. He's come very far in his career. Wow. But that's not to say that there's not some stinkers out there. I've been watching him since 2008 at the very least, maybe 2007 in Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's a lot of matches I can go back and look at, but he is one of my favorite wrestlers and always has been, so.
Well, let me ask you this, because Cesaro gets the win here. What does this mean for Cesaro moving forward? I mean, you win on Mania, his first ever singles match. He wins his first ever singles match on Mania. I mean, this has got to set up nice for probably at least an Intercontinental title shot at some point, right?
I would hope that he beats Wakanda forever.
Well,
I think there's a really good chance. It feels like, and again, I say this knowing that WWE has seemingly gotten behind Cesaro before. I almost said Claudio. They've seemingly gotten behind him before. We've talked about that before. You know, he's won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Right. I mean, he's shown up as a surprise member of a 4-way match for a title shot, the night after Mania. You know, he's had his little pushes, and then they never really seem to go anywhere. But this is his first big singles win at a Mania, so may they follow up on this? I certainly hope so.
Would you say that the WWE's booking of Cesaro is the Scorpio Sky effect?
Oh yeah.
For a minute, then you know what, and we're done.
Yeah.
That crowd goes behind him though. I mean, speaking from someone watching on TV, that crowd was pretty much behind him.
Oh yeah, no, definitely was 100% behind Claudio. I hate to agree with Mike because I just hate Scorpio Sky, but that he's right. That is kind of the effect of the pushes that we're getting.
I will. Or was that a little bit later on in the night? Because there was one time that I said something.
I don't remember.
And somebody laughed, and I laughed so hard at it that I looked at you and I just popped myself.
Oh my god. That might have been during the Bad Bunny match.
No, that was during the Almost match.
Oh, yes.
I literally looked at him at one point and said he looks like he's a better door than a window.
What grade did you give this one, by the way, guys?
I give this one an
A. You too, Joe?
Yeah, like I said, I'm about four rainbow flags on this one.
Okay.
4.25.
Out of 5, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right, speaking of Almost, we do have new Raw Tag Team Champions Almost and AJ Styles do defeat the New Day. This match it went the way we thought it'd go. Pretty much.
Yeah, It was pretty predictable at the end
Yeah.
of the day if you really think about it, because again, and there was a lot of that this year, I feel like, and I don't know that that's a bad thing, because it's nice to like build a story and then actually see some follow through on it.
Yeah.
But, I kind of wish Almost had gone out there and maybe been more impressive than just like
Big monster, right?
yeah, like exactly. He had about as much offense as a ladder in a ladder match.
Yeah.
That line, because I said, as he climbed out of the ring, I said, quote, "Oh my God, I can't believe they gave the half of the tag titles to the Lowe's ladder dissection."
Yes.
This kind of reminded me of the match of WrestleMania 6 with Demolition and Colossal Collection. Andre's on his last legs, obviously couldn't move, and Haku did all the fucking work, and Andre had like maybe one spot in the entire match, and that was actually getting tied up in the ropes, and that was it. Kind of had the same vibe. Obviously, the wrestlers a lot better in this match, but they obviously protected Omos. The guys worked around him. Big monster, he gets the pin, all that. So I mean, I gave it a B because it told the story what it needed to do. It went where it needed to go, and he didn't look horrible. Like he didn't shit the bed. He just did what he had to do. Big scary monster, get the win, boom, let's move on.
I gave it a B just because of the amount of humor that I got out of chanting random things at him, which included when he hit the slam where he put Xavier on his knee, held out, quote, "If that was Kevin Nash, he would have tore his ACL."
Yeah.
I hit him with the "You're a better door than a window." I also out, "You're so tall. Why is your reach so shitty?" When he wouldn't reach out for the tag the first time, when literally he had just like put his arm over the rope, like he didn't even bend. Like if he would have bent, he would have gotten to fucking AJ's hand like 7 times. But he's just like limp arm.
I could see them losing the titles next, like on Raw on Monday. I don't know why. I just could see it.
I just don't know who. I think the New Day is gonna kind of.
I'll say this, and I think it's interesting. They are building almost like he's gonna be their next fucking Goldberg. They've had him.
Goldberg.
I mean, well, like in the sense of they've built him from being nobody. Like he literally just kind of showed up one day in AJ Styles' corner.
Yeah,
Bouncer.
And right. And then now all of a sudden he's got his debut match at WrestleMania, winning, but handily defeating a guy who just 2 years ago won the world title at WrestleMania. Like technically 3 now, right? But like literally, like just put his foot on him and like pinned this guy who just a few years ago was winning the top title at the show. So I mean, they clearly are investing a lot in this guy, and I get it. He's big, he's tall, he's hopefully. I mean, he doesn't have any charisma or anything like that, so I don't quite know what they're investing in. But I swear to God, it feels like he's gonna be world champion by like next Mania.
They're literally following the HBK Diesel thing. Literally following that to a T.
Yes.
I think I yelled that out at one point.
Yes.
What'd you yell out, Mike? What'd you talk about?
I literally was like, "Oh my God, this is Shawn Michaels and Diesel with more plywood Diesel." Dude is stiff as a board. What do you want from me?
By the way, what did you think of Kofi Kingston twerking in the middle of the match?
I'm always down for anybody twerking at all times ever.
Of course, Joe. Of course.
I mean, you didn't see me twerking during Bianca Belair's theme song at the end of the show, did you?
Did you get on video?
Probably not.
I
was talking. I was like, you saw me twerking. I was dropping it like it was hot.
He did. He dropped it like it was so hot. It was like 95 degrees.
Yeah. All right. Next match here. We had a steel cage match, a classic, quote unquote. Yeah. Every time I see Braun Strowman, like I think of Joe. Like, what is Joe thinking right now? What is Joe's mind?
And like, I did at one point scream out, "Beat him, Shane. I really don't like him."
Facts. I can attest to that.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, though, I actually think that was a really well done match.
Yeah.
Very creative. some really interesting spots that we've never seen before in a cage match, which, you know, when you've been watching wrestling for 37 years, anytime a match actually pulls out, wow, I've never seen that before, in a positive way, I think that deserves some credit. There's another 4 rainbow flags on the old gay scale.
I gave it a B. I thought it's all a great story.
It did.
Mikey.
I am at the B- grade. My only negative that I really want to harp on, it had too much Riker and Elias. The beginning where they came out was fine, but the second spot where they came out, I think was a bit of overkill. I mean, I get it, but at that point, you should have just had them climb in and beat the shit out of Braun Strowman. But yeah, other than that, I don't think there's anything from a characteristic standpoint or an in-ring perspective that made that match bad.
Right.
So I mean, I would say that it was good. The crowd was really hyped for that match too. I may or may not have yelled, "Shane, jump off the light fixture, you dumb fuck," but I mean.
Speaking of Shane, can we talk about him and these spots? Because there's going to be a WrestleMania will he actually not get up and just fucking die. I really feel that's going to happen.
I legitimately thought that he was going to jump off the pirate ship.
Wasn't surprised at all.
Put him in a fucking steel cage. I'm like, why ain't jumping off of it now?
I'll say this, he still looks really good for his age. He looks honestly fantastic. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't hate it. As long as he wants to keep doing it, as long as it's safe, it's certainly always a moment at WrestleMania, you know?
Here comes the money. Money talks.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, right? I really had to go use the bathroom when that match started. I waited until he took the big bump, and then I looked at Mike, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to miss anything from here. And I ran out. I also got his pizzas. They were kind of good. Not bad.
Oh, okay.
They're about on the rainbow scale.
All right, a match that when we previewed thought was a singles match, it ended up being a tag team match between Bad Bunny, Damian Priest versus The Miz and John Morrison. Wow, we got a lot of Bad Bunny tonight. A lot of Bad Bunny. Way more than I thought.
I honestly was very entertained by it.
Yes, I was. I gave the match an A. I really did. Great story. I was entertained. Bad Bunny more than surpassed expectations in the ring.
He really did. That might be one of the best celebrity wrestling matches we've ever seen.
Honestly, I can't think of really another one that, off the top of my head.
No, because he looked fantastic.
Yeah. And by the way, kudos to The Miz, dude.
The only match with a celebrity that I think that could compare to it was the Stephen Amell versus Stardust match from SummerSlam.
That was a good match.
By the way, kudos to The Miz, man. Phenomenal job.
Kudos to everyone involved in that. That could not have been easy to pull off.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed the fact that my wife sent me a text that literally was like, what the fuck is going on, when all the bunnies started hopping to the ring? And I was just like, oh my god, she's literally turned on the show at the right time.
By the way, Carol, your wife was the MVP tonight too, man. She was saying some fucking funny ass shit.
Oh yeah. She was ripping them off like it was going out of style.
Hey, hop. That's great. Yeah, it's a good match. I thought we'd see more Damian Priest really in the ring. Not a lot of Damian Priest in the ring tonight. A lot of Bad Bunny. I was surprised, but I was pleasantly surprised, of course. So
the fact that it hit a Canadian destroyer was pretty impressive.
Yeah. Before we get to the main event, we of course had the Hall of Fame inductees come out. Obviously, British Bulldog and, Jushin Liger and, William Shatner and you name it. Dude, I love the NWO, but God, I'm worried about Scott Hall. I really am. He looks horrible.
Yeah, we know.
I'm really worried about him.
Yeah. That's definitely, it's unfortunate.
It's not even old age there, because Kevin Nash is in his 60s, but he looks fantastic. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm worried about Scott Hall. I really am.
Obviously we don't know what's going on there or whatever, but hopefully he'll be okay.
I'm kind of glad it came. Go ahead, Mike. What did you say?
No, I was talking to Joe about something that I was reading on a message board.
Okay. Any thoughts on the Hall of Fame inductees? Anything came out of there? You guys?
That's kind of what I ended up missing while I was going to get pizza and using the bathroom.
The best thing
fatty.
about inductions were the fact that Jushin Thunder Liger went in.
Yeah.
And I do like that they split it into tonight and tomorrow for the Hall of Fame.
I agree. I said the same thing to my wife. Like, let's split it up. That's good. I'm glad I did that. All right, main event. So happy to see this one. Man, Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks. Like, we've been saying for weeks, like, the build hasn't been that great. I've really been impressed with the build. But, God, the payoff here was fantastic. The match was fantastic, in my opinion. I give it an A+, honestly. I thought between the spots, the psychology, just the story being told, the emotion, the general emotions at the beginning of the match. You see Bianca going to tears before the match starts. And, I mean, it was just great. Sasha, to me, man, gosh, she plays that tweener heel role so well.
She does.
She really does.
Yeah, no, that match, I'm gonna say it, and I said it to Mike before. I'm gonna slightly revise what I said to Mike before.
Okay.
That was the best main event at a WrestleMania, like closing match at a WrestleMania show since at least WrestleMania 31.
Wow.
That was when we got the cash in.
Right, 31 was the cash in.
And Lesnar and all that. I love that main event. And, like, I don't think we've had another really good one since then. So it's really kind of awesome to have gotten this. And I love everything about this, honestly. I love the fact, and I did say it earlier, if you're slicing that in, what Mike and I had recorded earlier.
Right.
I love the fact that this is the first singles women's match to main event of WrestleMania. I love the fact that it's the first women's match where they were both African American.
Yeah.
It might be the first main event match where both athletes were African American. Period.
Yeah.
Like male or female. So just like all of that history behind it, I kind of couldn't have been any more happy for them.
Fantastic job, Mike.
Yeah, no, I think this one hit all the notes. It hit the emotion at the beginning with the two girls taking in
that was amazing.
The hypeness from the fans to
we stood up.
The match actually beginning. The two of them worked their asses off. They really went after it, and Bianca. With the hair pulling and all that. Sasha trying to gain the advantage with that. To Bianca going back and using the hair whip, something she hasn't done really since she's been on the main roster.
Gave Sasha a big cut in her fucking stomach.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, really? I left them
on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big slash.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, she needed to just snatch her weave. I kept saying that, but nobody listened to me.
She looked great. By the way, the green she was wearing too looked great.
I didn't love her hair.
The green in her outfit looked good. The green in her hair, not so much.
Emerald.
Yeah, it was a little. I don't know. It didn't work for me.
Yeah. So where do you go now with this? Like, so obviously Bianca now got the rocket ship strapped. I thought. We all thought that maybe Bayley be involved in this match somehow. Bayley was involved at WrestleMania, but not really anything significant other than backstage hanging out.
Buddy. We both said no to that.
You said no to that?
Yeah, I never thought Bayley was going to have any involvement in this. I kind of wondered if Becky would come out at the end, but apparently she's trolling Twitter.
I kind of told myself that I didn't think that she would come out after that match because if they were closing that, they were going to give whoever wanted that moment. They weren't going to cut their legs off by bringing Becky back then. I told Joe that I thought there would have been something where somebody would have been a surprise because we're not going to get the Raw after WrestleMania that we normally get. Yeah. So, like, the big return that we normally get, we may not get that this year because there will be no fans. So it's kind of why I'm like, shit, I wish we would have gotten, like, a surprise on each night. But we're holding out hope that something crazy happens tomorrow, but I'm not holding my breath.
Right.
That is too drastic.
Let me say this much real quick. Like I was predicting Bayley be involved, but I'm so glad I was wrong because in hindsight, it actually would have ruined the match because the match was fantastic.
I agree with you completely.
And
I love
that was necessary. Go ahead.
I love what's his name from the Street Profits?
Montez Ford.
I love him and Bianca as a couple.
Oh my god!
I need them to get their own reality show on Peacock.
Yes,
I would watch that with so much regularity. They seem like such an awesome, fun couple, and the fact that he was so happy. He wasn't even on WrestleMania. His match got bumped onto Friday Night SmackDown. The fact that he could still be out there celebrating for his wife and all of that, like, I love that, honestly.
Yeah, definitely a better reality show than fucking Brandy and Cody. Tell you that right now.
Oh, I didn't even watch that.
Well, I don't think it's on yet, but
no,
we can discuss that.
Good on that.
Yeah.
That could be a future snippet and then a future show. Because I have a lot of opinions on those two, honestly. But yeah, I'll definitely be in for Montez Bianca reality show.
Episode.
What was that?
I said we could watch the first episode. Apparently, Mike will not want to.
We'll do a watch along. Let's do a watch along for that.
No. I watch along of some fucking reality show about Cody Rhodes.
What if we do a watch along of the first 10 minutes of the first episode?
What if we do a watch along of me throwing something outside of my house?
What would you do a watch? What would you do a watch along of a watch along? Watch along of the Bianca of Mike watching a watch along with Cody and Brandy. Or as Jim Cornette called them, was it Bodie and was it Candy and Brody? What's Jim Cornette?
I don't know. Jim Cornette's a lot of dumb shit.
He is, yeah, but Jim Cornette is kind of right sometimes on some shit he says.
Yeah,
sometimes.
You know,
it's his delivery.
Right, a broken clock 2 times a day.
Yeah. The problem with Jim Cornette is more so the delivery. He's an asshole. Like, he could be right, but it is how he says it. Like, it's very ridiculous.
Pronounced cuckold.
Cuckold. Anyway, last minute thoughts. We get out of here. I gave other than the grade for the tag team turmoil wouldn't normally bring the grade down, but I was expecting it to be a filler match anyway. So fuck that. I'd give this entire show an A, honestly, because the great matches were great and the good matches were actually better than we thought.
Yeah, I'd actually agree with you. I'm high on this show. I think this is one of the more fun overall manias that we've been to. It helped that it wasn't 8 hours long. It helped that we weren't there for literally 12 hours of our day.
J-Lo naps.
Yeah, I stayed awake for the entire show. That's an accomplishment in and of itself.
Yes.
So, I mean, this is a really fun one to me. This is one of my favorite manias to have attended, and I'm actually it has me even more excited for Night 2 tomorrow at this point.
Night 2's got big shoes to fill, though, because Night 1 came in real hot tonight.
You're right, though.
My MVP for Night 1 is going to go to the guy who got his first singles victory at a WrestleMania, none other than Cesaro.
My MVP is easy. It's Bianca.
Yeah.
That's easy. I mean,
you
she
both
won that main event. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I'm not mad at you picking somebody else because, I mean, I think there's a lot of people that could get the nod. Hell, Bad Bunny deserves to be an MVP.
That's mine right there. I was going to go Bianca, but you know what? For the sake of being different here, Bad Bunny, again, wasn't he dude, I didn't, when he came in Royal Rumble and performed there, whatever, I was like, whatever, and then he was involved in a feud, but the feud became interesting. And then now in the feud became interesting, then the payoff at the match at Mania. Like, it wasn't just him coming in on spots. He literally had more time in that ring than anybody else of the two teams.
Yeah.
Phenomenal job of Bad Bunny.
He's the star of that match.
So I totally agree with you, man. So Bad Bunny's my MVP. Although Bianca will be my co-MVP also because, again, to be honest, Bianca and Sasha, honestly. Takes 2 to tango.
It takes 2 to tango.
So hopefully I can do a Night 2 reaction. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. We'll see what happens with time and whatever. But yeah, just continue to stay safe out there. Wear your masks. And I don't know. Anything else you want to add before we go?
Keep following along. Enjoy the ride. We're supposed to do a baseball game tomorrow, but it looks like weather in the morning is going to kind of be. So we'll see if we actually get that in. If not, we'll be ready for next shirt.
All right.
We're going with the Brett comic book shirt. So
I'm excited.
Joe, anything else you want to add before we go? Oh,
I see clearly.
yeah.
No, I'm just let's talk about this tomorrow night.
All right, guys. So we'll do night 2 tomorrow night, and yeah, enjoy. All right, guys.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye.
Later.